Should parents live with their children after retirement? It sounds like a simple question, but for many, it hits close to home. Linda, 62, thought her son's invitation to move and was an act of love. But soon, she found herself cleaning, cooking, and caring for the grandkids, feeling more like an unpaid housekeeper than a retired mother. What happened to her dreams? Her freedom? Her golden years? One day, she made a brave choice to leave and finally live for herself. This is a story that has touched the hearts of thousands of older adults, and it just might change how you see aging in family. This is a question many parents quietly struggle with. Should you live with your children after retirement? It's also the beginning of an emotional story about Linda, a 62-year-old mother who spent her entire life caring for her family. 10 years ago, Linda lost her husband to a serious illness. Since then, she's lived alone in a small, modest house filled with memories, both joyful and painful. Despite the loneliness, she kept up her daily routine, tending her backyard garden, preparing simple home-cooked meals, and occasionally calling her kids just to hear their voices. When she turned 60 and officially retired, her son grew concerned that she might be too isolated, out of love, or so it seemed. He invited her to come live with his family. "Come stay with us, Mom. The kids will love having you around. You'll have company every day," he said. Linda was deeply touched. After decades of raising children, managing a home, and sacrificing her own dreams, she truly believed it was finally her time to enjoy a peaceful, fulfilling retirement surrounded by those she loved most. With hope in her heart, she packed up the house she'd lived in for half her life. She said goodbye to her little garden, her quiet morning coffee spot, and all the small routines that had kept her going. She was ready to begin a new chapter, one filled with warmth, comfort, and family connection. But was moving in really the path to happiness? Is living with your adult children the right choice for every aging parent? Linda's story is more than just a personal journey. It's a mirror reflecting the silent questions and emotions of millions of older adults today. If you're nearing retirement or already there and asking yourself, where should I spend this next chapter of life? Then don't miss what comes next. Her experience might help you find your own answer. Linda moved into her son's home hoping to start a warm, connected life surrounded by family. In the beginning, everything seemed perfect. Her daughter-in-law welcomed her kindly. The grandkids greeted her with cheerful grandma, hugs, and her son constantly reassured her, "Mom, just relax now, you've earned it." Linda smiled, believing she had made the right decision. During the first few weeks, her daughter-in-law would say things like, "Don't do too much, Mom. Take a walk, get some fresh air, chat with the neighbors." Linda's heart softened, though her daily rhythm was a little disrupted. Being around family felt comforting. She began helping with small things, making breakfast, tidying up, just small gestures of love and gratitude. But those small things gradually became everything. Soon, she was mopping floors, washing dishes, grocery shopping, cooking meals, and picking up the kids from school. Day after day, Linda found herself with no time left for herself. The retirement dream she once had, taking dance classes, gardening, catching up with old friends, became distant and unreachable. Her son didn't notice the change. Her daughter-in-law treated Linda's constant help as something expected, almost automatic. Linda began to feel less like a love mother and more like an unpaid housekeeper in her own family's home. The turning point came one Saturday night when a young couple casually announced they were heading out of town for a 4-day vacation. They expected Linda to stay behind, manage the house, and care for the children without ever asking if she was okay with it. It wasn't a request. It was an assumption. Linda didn't argue, but something inside her quietly broke. Was this really the peaceful, joyful retirement she had imagined? Her story was reaching crossroads. Should she continue sacrificing her freedom and time for her children's convenience? Or find the courage to step away and start living for herself? The next chapter would take her down a path of deep emotion, hard truths, and a powerful reminder. It's never too late to choose your own happiness. Stay tuned for the rest of Linda's story. That night, Linda barely slept. She lay quietly in her small guest room, staring at the ceiling, listening to the ticking clock, her heart heavy. Since moving in with her son's family, she hadn't had a single day of real rest. The love she had hoped for had slowly turned into dependence, and perhaps even quiet exploitation. But she didn't blame her son, and she didn't resent her daughter-in-law. Linda understood they had their own lives, full of responsibilities and stress. Things she, too, had faced when she was younger. What hurt most was not the workload, but the feeling of being taken for granted. She wasn't a guest or a beloved mother anymore. She was simply expected to be there, always ready to help without question. The next morning, she woke early, just as she always did, but not to make breakfast. This time, she quietly packed a small bag, a few changes of clothes, some books, and old family photos. Before leaving, she left a short handwritten note on the kitchen table. "I'm going back to the countryside for a few days to visit an old friend. Take care of the family." As the bus pulled away from the city, Linda looked out the window and felt something she hadn't felt in years: relief. For the first time in a long while, she wasn't responsible for anyone but herself. She didn't have to ask for permission. She didn't have to explain. She was free, not to relive her youth, but to live on her own terms. Back in her hometown, she started over, one small joy at a time. Morning walks to the town square, light stretching exercises, laughter with old friends, a little garden, a rescued dog, afternoon tea under a quiet sky. No phone calls, no demands, just peace. And Linda felt no regret, because she now understood something deeply true. Living for yourself doesn't make you selfish. Sometimes it's the greatest gift you can give yourself at the end of a long, giving life. When a tree grows tall, it's time for the branches to separate. This saying reflects more than just nature. It speaks to the evolution of family. Parents won't be around forever to care for their children, and adult children shouldn't rely on their parents indefinitely. True love between generations means supporting each other emotionally, not through silent sacrifice or unspoken burdens. Linda's story isn't a tragedy. It's a wake-up call. Many older adults find themselves in similar situations, believing they're being embraced with love, only to realize they traded freedom and retirement dreams for the role of an unpaid caretaker in their own child home. I truly believe that every parent, after a life of giving, deserves the right to rest, to reclaim their time and pursue long-held personal dreams. And children, too, must learn to stand on their own, honoring their parents not by relying on them, but by respecting their need for peace and dignity. I hope that after watching this video, you'll take a moment to reflect on your own family relationships. Let's work toward a kind of closeness that's built on mutual understanding and respect. Because sometimes a little space is exactly what keeps love strong over time. If this story spoke to your heart, please give a like, leave a comment to share your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe for more meaningful content like this. Thank you for watching. And remember, no matter your age, it's never too late to choose yourself.